And this recording gets added to a couple different places. I usually always create a handy takeaway guide for you guys to reference, and I include the recording there. But we also add these to our YouTube channel. Now, besides the recording, if you are brand new here, maybe another a user shared this link out with you, you're not quite sure how you got here, how often we do these KV Core Success Meetup webinars, or how to join another one, I want to introduce that as well. You can always at the beginning of the presentation, we'll always usually share our screen. We'll show our slide deck. And on this main slide, you can see a QR code. You can go ahead and scan that QR code right now to go sign up for more of these sessions. Currently, we do hold them 3 times per week, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, same time each day. Do be aware that our sessions for the last week of December, I believe, have been canceled due to the Christmas holiday. And do expect there may be some changes to the schedule for Success Meetups come the new year. Just a little word of warning there. So besides scanning the QR code to register for more of these sessions, I always like to point out in KV Core, and I apologize, some of you guys I know are repeat users that are joining us here today, and you're well aware of our training calendar within KV Core. But just in case we got any new users here today, I always like to make sure to point out the training calendar. So when you log into your platform, the main page, your dashboard, you'll see on the right-hand side under KV Core Training, View Training Calendar. If you go to click there, it'll ask you to choose the time zone, which best applies to you. And that's another way you can go to find these KV Core Success Meetups, as well as lots of other training options. These KV Core Success Meetups are always live. We alternate the tips and tricks on which we present on, and they are Q&A as well. So if you have any questions about your platform, please don't be shy. Feel free to chat those in or pop them into the Q&A at any time, even if they're unrelated to today's topic. If they are, I'll try to make sure I address them at least by the end of today's webinar. So feel free to chat those in if you already know that you have questions that you want addressed today, and I'll try to fit those in. And then, as I mentioned, these sessions are recorded. If you ever have trouble finding our YouTube channel, there is a link actually at the top of the KV Core training calendar. So up here at the top, you'll say Facebook group, YouTube channel. These are clickable links. The Facebook group, if you want to join us there, be part of our community. We do try to post at least the Friday before what the upcoming topics will be. Last week, I believe the week before was admin week, just before Thanksgiving. You'll usually see in recent media, usually that post. So we did post it a little bit early because Thanksgiving weekend, there were no Success Meetups. So these are topics for this week. Tomorrow, Heather will be on to talk about using AI to create pictures and visuals. And on Thursday, I do believe that's my fellow trainer, Christina, talking about 10 things to do if you're new to KV Core. So we post the topics in the Facebook group and all the recordings in the YouTube channel. If you head to the YouTube channel, you can search by title, or additionally, if you go to the playlist page, you'll find that there is a playlist specifically with all our Success Meetup recordings. All right. Thanks for bearing with me if that was repeat information for some of you. If I haven't introduced myself already, my name is Mariel Ortiz. I'm a product trainer here with Inside Real Estate, the company that brings you your KV Core platforms. And if you've been with me before for one of these Success Meetup webinars, you'll know that I usually like to prepare a handy little guide for you guys, something that you guys can take away. So I'm going to share this guide out in the chat right now. Again, I do usually pop the recording at the bottom as well, so I'll make sure to pop that recording in there a couple hours from now. But again, lots of support articles, links to videos that I think relate to today's topic. So lots of goodies. Let's talk about this guide. So today's session is based off of a support guide that we actually have in our KV Core Support Center. If you're unfamiliar, if you go to support and training here on the left near KV Core platforms and you head to the Support Center, that's where you can find all of our articles. A lot of you will also notice in your KV Core accounts, if you click on the bottom right-hand corner where you've got that little chat bubble, this might not be in some accounts. I know we've got a lot of users with a lot of different brokerages there. Some of you might not see this, but most of you will. You can also search for help articles here as well. And one that we've had for a while, but I always like to bring attention to because I find a lot of users, might not know all the goodies that they can search for with these support articles. There's a lot of them that are existing. This is property search of the day ideas. A lot of you guys know, what to do to help, generate more leads, improve your business, but sometimes you need some inspiration, some ideas to go along with that. So that's kind of what today's session was inspired by. I want to talk about different ways to grab your listings within KV Core to share out a property search of the day. And there are some ideas in here. Keep in mind, this is, an older article. So depending on your location, you may have to adjust some of these price points and things like that to fit, what's current and what's really available in your local area. So feel free to tweak these, but just to give you some inspiration on things that are popular searchable kind of topics when it comes to property. So area starter homes, luxury condos, list of area homes with motivated sellers. I'll show you what I mean by that when we go for a keywords search to later today. And then things like home offices. Lots of different ideas here to get the juices flowing, to get the ideas going if you need some inspiration. All right, so that is shared out at the top of my guide here. Now, today we'll also be getting into planning. I always know you could create a search at any time, share it to your social media, send it to your leads. But I always think it's worthwhile to do a little bit of planning. Think about what your purpose is for posting. What is it you need to work on the most? Now, your post could serve all of these purposes. They could generate new leads for you, re-engage with your existing leads in your CRM already, or it could be used just to consistently post to social media. If you are posting to social media, you probably know that it's going to, with the way the algorithms work nowadays, it's going to be much more beneficial to you to, consistently post once a week or, twice a month than it would be to post 5 times in a day and not post again for weeks or months. So regularly posting, if that's all that this serves, it's still an effective tool. Now, also think about where you are posting or sharing this. Is it just going to be shared with, again, CRM contacts? Is this going to be posted to your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your Pinterest, wherever you're posting? And what is your goal? How many people do you hope to view this? How many people do you want to get these messages in front of? And how can you expand that audience? And additionally, if this does potentially generate more leads, if people are clicking your links, going back to your website, signing up, how are you going to follow up with those leads? Will you continue to maybe put them on a newsletter or a campaign within KV Core? We want to think of that follow-up strategy as well, because it's not going to do you much good if you generate those leads and then just let them sit in your CRM to grow cold. All right, so just a little bit, we'll talk about planning, that was a little bit of a discussion of planning. We'll talk about different ways to create a property search of the day, where to share. Got some other suggestions here as well. I challenge you all to take what you learn here today and apply it. That's going to help this information sink in. So that way you're not just hopefully not going in one ear and out the other, but you're actually utilizing what it is that you learn. I've got some helpful articles down at the below, down below, more information about posting your links, where to find links, geographical areas. And if you've never created a multi-property squeeze page, we might have time to do a quick walkthrough today, but on the off chance that we don't, I've included a YouTube video to a past success meetup all about it. And of course, if you need those links to our YouTube channel, Facebook group, they're here as well. All right, so today's agenda, I've shared out the support guide with you guys. Let's first jump into saving searches from your kvCORE website, or how to send out links for properties from that website. That's one way that you could do it. Additionally, we're going to dive into sending out links that you generate from the listings tab within kvCORE, so the back end, the kind of admin side that you get to see. And then we'll also talk as well about creating squeeze page searches, which I think most of you, if you've used the platform for a while, I think a lot of users think of just using squeeze pages, but there's pros and cons to each of these methods. So I want to make sure, if you're thinking a little out of the box here, how to use all your options. So let's jump to a kvCORE website. So in the platform, if you're new, a quick and easy way to find your kvCORE website is in the upper right-hand corner of your platform, where you're going to see your name. If you go to click there, it opens up a hidden menu, and that third or so icon down, it should be a globe icon. That'll take you to your kvCORE website. Now, if you want to do a search, go ahead and click on your search tab. I've renamed mine. Mine says Find My Dream Home, but typically they'll say search by default. If you want to update that, that can be done through your Web and IDX tab in your website settings. And you may be noticing the snow on my page as well. Don't worry, we'll be talking a little bit about updating your website for the holidays, probably in a future success meetup. So there's also support articles on that if you want to go digging for yourself before then. All right, so we're heading over to the Find My Dream Home page. Oh, and just realized there was something in the Q&A, so I'm going to pause real quick and read that over. Still trying to set my search for anyone who comes to my site to look at homes. Cannot find anywhere to do that. I'm trying to set for one client, the basic keywords for my area are not there. Yeah, so I do believe hopefully I understand your question correctly there. I do believe, if I haven't included it here, I'll try to pop in an article about adjusting your keywords for your website. So you can adjust. Apologize. I know I just saw the support article earlier, so I'll try to pull it up a little bit later and add it into the bottom of the article. You can go into your, yeah. I unfortunately won't be able to find it right at this moment, but I'll look for it a little bit later for you guys. We'll be able to go into your website settings, and you can adjust some of the information that displays with those listing searches. So I'll try to find a better search to pull up that article, and I'll add it into our guide for you. So if you clicked on the guide in the support chat or in the Zoom chat, you'll be able to open that up. I'll make sure to add that in there later. I'll give myself a note for it. All right, so users that are exploring your website are going to head on over to your search tab. There's a couple different ways that they could do that search. Now, if any of you have created squeeze pages in the past, you know that you can also search this way as well. You can use the map version, so you could draw the location in which you're searching for properties if you wanted to. And you can actually draw multiple areas if you wanted to. So if you just wanted to exclude a small section, that's available to you. You can go and apply those. Or additionally, you've got the more filters options on the right-hand side. And the bare minimum that you need to add in here is an area. So that could be a city, a county, a zip code that you're searching for. Now, feel free to add in whatever criteria that you want for a property search of the day. We probably want to add 2 or 3 pieces and really think about kind of what niche audience, who it is that we're targeting. So are we looking for, are we targeting, say, a low income area or a high income area? Do we want to specifically be focused on single families or condos? Maybe a style of property that's very popular in your area. And feel free to branch out a little bit from maybe if you have one audience that you normally target, it's a good idea to have a couple in mind. We want to switch these up. We want this to be hopefully a regular posting habit. You could do it just once, but it's really going to benefit you to, have a couple ideas, a couple different property ideas to post out. And then what I really like to mention as a pro when it comes to creating a search link from your website directly is I will mention with squeeze pages, you won't get all of the filtering options that you see here. So you won't get all of these property amenity options, things like if you just wanted to target, people looking for multiple garages, multiple stories, and these keywords can be really helpful as well. If you take a look at that property search of the day support article, they mention, item number 3 says, here's a complete current list of area homes with motivated sellers. If you didn't know, and this is actually something that I just learned recently too, you learn something new every day, right? So you can actually search for keywords like motivated sellers in the keywords at the bottom of your search. So let me add in an area first, because again, that's going to be the bare minimum. I'm located in California, and San Diego is one of the areas that I normally reference in a lot of my examples here. So we'll choose San Diego. And then for keyword, I'm going to paste in motivated sellers and apply that. And we'll give you some examples here. Motivated seller properties. Now we're getting a lot of properties here. I might want to add an additional piece of criteria to narrow that down. Again, it's going to vary on the location you're looking at. Additionally, I believe as well, another popular keyword might be, I believe it's seller financing. Let's see, I'll type it in. We'll see if it pulls anything up. So yes, seller financing is an option as well. We can go and pull that up too. So feel free to play around with those keywords. They do require a little bit of prompting here. And definitely check them out before you send anything out to your contacts or leads. Always good to make sure that you've got some listings that populate. As you saw, that one didn't produce anything. But once you've got a search result that you like, you could go and you could copy that link and again, share that out on your social media, add it into an email if you like. Now, I will mention a con of choosing a link directly from your website. First of all, look at what I've highlighted here. That's a big, long, ugly link here. If I go to copy that and I wanted to say, let's go and filter again for what we had before. What did we copy there? Motivated sellers. Let's go and pop that back in there. That way we've actually got some results here, and I'll copy that link. But again, big, long, ugly link. I will say with posting to places like Facebook, if you've not attempted this already, you don't have to keep that big, long, ugly link in your Facebook posts. If I'm creating a post here and I pop in that link, all I have to do is wait for the image to populate, and then I can go and remove that and type in my call to action. whatever it is that you want to see to grab their attention. We want to keep it short, sweet, hopefully start with something a little bit attention grabbing. Take a moment or two to really think out your strategy here. Encourage them, obviously, to click the image to be sent to the listings. I always like to also mention somewhere in there, maybe, something along the lines of comment below which property was your favorite and why. So encouraging engagement with the post. That's also going to increase the number of people that are likely to see that post. And then as well, maybe also include somewhere a little reminder of how they can contact you for more information. So big long link. So that's not something you'd probably want to put on Twitter. But Facebook is a place where you can go and remove that. But additionally, as well, a disadvantage of choosing this option in particular would be any leads that go and click that image and sign on up. They're going to go to your KV Core CRM. They'll still be captured. And the source will say, agent website, but you won't be able to draw them in with a specific hashtag. So they will look like one of many leads. It'll be hard to pinpoint specifically how they were captured. So I would say that's one disadvantage of doing it through the website option. I do see there's some Q&A messages. Don't worry, I'll get back to you momentarily. But just kind of a final thought as well. Besides just sharing out this link, if you are familiar with our landing pages, you could create a landing page that advertises, your property search. So again, what did we do? We did motivated sellers. Ooh. Motivated sellers in San Diego. There we go. Include whatever information you want to do. And then we could pop that link up at the top, that URL after login up at the top. So that way, we're posting out this landing page that we've built. We're enticing them to sign up to see motivated sellers in San Diego. And then once they've signed up, it'll lead them to that link to that search to your website. So that could be a way to effectively use that link. And if you've ever built a landing page before, you'll know that any leads that land on your landing page and go to sign up can be assigned a hashtag, and that could allow you to track them later on in their journey. So not only could you go to your CRM, say we assign, everybody who signs up through that landing page gets hashtag, property search of the day. I could go and I could filter for that in my CRM, but also, tracking that over time. I always like to point out in your business analytics, you check your source performance, you can search by hashtag, and you can pull up, reports based on the last week, last month, last year, and see which lead sources are really producing results for you. See if those property searches of the day, which ones are really producing results. So that can help you really narrow down how you should be posting and what kind of posting searches are producing the most benefits. All right, so I'll pause there before we continue on talking about generating property searches through your listings tab. And then we'll also talk a little bit more about squeeze pages, maybe landing pages as well, time depending. All right, so let's see in the Q&A. Derek says, are you seeing a decrease of leads? All right. I'm so sorry to hear that you're seeing a decrease of leads. I do think, it's a couple different factors. Times are a little bit tough here. We are reaching the end of the year as well. So I haven't personally heard of that, but I don't believe that's not unheard of. So I wish I had more information. Feel free to discuss about it in the chat if that's kind of the same thing that you're seeing as well. And what page are you on for the search? Let me back up a little bit, Elizabeth, because I'm not quite sure if I understood your question. So what I did in that case was I went to my KV Core website, And then I went from my website to my search tab. Again, mine says find my dream home, but essentially just the search tab of your website should be the very first tab at the top that you go to search for listings. And all I used was the filters from my search. So this is also what your leads see when they go to do a search through your website. Or if you sign them up for a search alert, this is also the page that they get directed to. So that's all I was using just then. All right. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about kind of it'll be a roundabout method, but a way that you could also create a posting link using your listings tab. And it's kind of a nice solution as well, because you get all the filtering options of your website, but rather than getting that big, long, ugly link, you get a nice, short, compact link that you can use to add to places like Twitter, or would be helpful in even a text message if you wanted to text out these listings. So let's dive into that next. So heading into the listings tab within KV Core, if you guys haven't played around with these, you've got a lot of filtering options. You've got your listings, team listings, agency listings, listing by agent, as well as those location options. You can also draw on a map here. And of course, all the additional options, the keywords. General options, again, you kind of got to click it and scroll, but you get all the same options that you get through your website. So you can narrow down a search. Again, we'll just quickly grab San Diego. Or you know what, just for time's sake, I want to point out as well, any search that you regularly revert to, maybe you frequently pull up a location near you at a certain price point, or a location near you at a certain style. I want to point out as well that you can save those filters to refer back to again and again. And a couple filters I've gotten in my demo account here, just for examples: luxury listings. So again, those over a certain price point, and Vista listings, those are local listings. So I can just click on that and we've filtered automatically. Maybe this is the filter that I wanted to send out to re-engage with some contacts that are in my CRM. Now, I could go and I could choose all the listings on this page, and I'll let you know I'm only going to see 10 out of 260 records here. For you guys, you can always adjust the rows on the right-hand side. You can view 10, 50, 100. I believe the cap is 250 at a time. I will mention in my demo account, mine is locked to 10. But I could check them all off if I wanted to send out multiple listings, or I could select specific ones depending on what I was looking to show. And, I could just email them to an individual. Or, little pro tip, maybe I have in here, maybe I've added in my CRM all the leads that I think should be receiving my property search of the day. Maybe you've hashtagged those people as a group. If that's the case, and let's go again and select those listings here, I can go to the more actions drop down right above, and I can email or text these listings to a group which I've hashtagged. So I could email it to everybody with hashtag, if I had property search of the day, I could just type that in here. And all the message is going to say is check out this listing, and it includes a property link. Now, I can type in whatever message I want around that. So maybe I want this to say hi and include their first name. I could just pop in a merge tag if I want to. That's that little sun icon. If I pop that in there, each person I send this to is going to receive, an email that looks like it was written specifically for them. So hi, first name, check out this listing, property link. Or in this case, it would probably be check out these listings. I think you'll enjoy them. Or, whatever I want to say about the particular properties that I've chosen today. The one thing I don't want to touch is that property link. That is a merge tag. It's going to insert the link for me, and it's going to create that link that's going to include all of these listings. So I can go and I can send that out. Now, that's great for re-engaging with contacts already in my CRM. But what if I want to use that link again to post to social media? I mentioned that this could be a great one to use for Twitter. Now, if you've gone through training, you've probably heard that we advise all of our users of the kvCORE platform to create their own test lead in the system. Add yourself in as a contact, just manually add in a contact. Have it be, name it yourself, choose a friend or a loved one, whoever you like. Just make sure that the email and cell phone number that you use are different than what is in your kvCORE profile. If you're not quite sure about your profile, that's also in that hidden menu in the upper right-hand corner. Can't miss it. So if you've got yourself in there as a test lead, you could effectively email this to yourself. So I've got myself in here as a test lead. Let's go and find my contact. There we go. And we can send it on over to them. I will have to create a subject. So property search. I'll just type that in, send it on over. Now, let me go and grab that email on the other side, and then I'll show you exactly what that looks like. All right, let's drag her over. So here is my property search. Again, I just kept the link as it was. Don't need to type anything fancy. I was just sending it to myself. And here is that cute little link, very eye appealing. I can copy that, and then now I can share that link anywhere I like. So I could put that link in a text message. So I go to my contacts in my CRM. I could, filter for anyone who's looking for a property search of the day. I could filter for anyone who has, let's see, contact details. Good idea to filter for anyone who has a phone and is subscribed to text messaging. Go and filter for those people. And then I could send it out to them in a mass text. Just go ahead and add in my message and include that link. Or additionally, I could also, use that on social media as well. And got a cute little short link to send on out. So again, that was a multi-step process. Just quickly running through that again. You go to your listings tab. You filter for whatever listings it is that you want to select. Make sure you check the boxes next to them. And then again, if you're looking for the short link, email it to yourself. Or if you're looking to re-engage with your existing contacts, that's that more actions drop down, and you can email or text it to everyone with the same hashtag. All right, I'm going to pause again, take a quick sip of water, and then we're going to address those questions in the Q&A before moving on to squeeze pages and potentially landing pages as well. Okay, so someone mentioned in the chat motivated sellers link. So if you're looking for someone who is eager to buy a home now, someone who's eager, who is looking for, potentially a price point with some flexibility, motivated sellers is a good kind of group that we want to focus on. These people are motivated to sell that house now. So that's the kind of phrasing that a lot of people, may be looking for, especially in, today's economy. So feel free to phrase that however you like, or whatever argument you want to put forward there. But that's kind of my thought process when I was using those keyword filters like motivated sellers. Let's see. Josie says, my page only shows a list of listings, no search filter. And you're using your kvCORE website? trying to think why you wouldn't have search options at least somewhere on the side here. So there are a couple different options here. So you'll notice at the top there's a little drop down menu. I had it set to map. And then for me, my search options on my website are over on the right hand side. I think by default, some websites are set to grid. So your filters are going to be upper right hand corner a little larger, a little higher. And then you've also got list options as well. But no matter what, you should have some filtering options through your website. I apologize about not being able to see your page. I'm not quite sure why that is. I could say as well, if you're a brand new user of the KV Core platform and for some reason your listings aren't connected, I could see that potentially causing an issue. I would definitely double check in your KV Core profile. And this goes for all of our users, of course. Double check in your KV Core profile that you got your MLS ID added in there. That's going to help populate your listings to your site. All right, and let's see, we got another question in there as well. Why can't you see a preview of your email before you send the emails? Is that something that will eventually be added in? Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great call out. I could definitely see that being added as a feature to the platform. I'm sure you're not the only person who has asked this. To my knowledge, I don't know of that being something that's going to be on our near roadmap as far as additions to the KV Core platform. If you've never heard this before, we definitely encourage, if you got your little chat bar in the bottom right-hand corner and you scroll on down, you might see a box here that says something along the lines of share your product ideas. That's a good thing to, pop in there and just say that that would be a feature you'd love to see added in KV Core. And that might be something, I can't guarantee that when you make these requests that they're going to be added, but the more we see those requests, we do verify those, we do check those. And the more that a feature is being requested, the greater likelihood it's something that we'll add down the road. If you're not seeing the share your product ideas, you can also chat those in as well. What I will say again, as a workaround, we're always going to recommend to you to send emails to your test lead in KV Core. So right now that is currently the best workaround for that, just because you can't always, preview those emails beforehand. So always a good idea to have a test lead in there, send it to yourself first, just double check your work. All right. Now we're heading into the lead engine next. If you haven't explored your lead engine, these are your free DIY lead generation tools, your landing pages, your squeeze pages, your text codes. And, hopefully not confusing anyone, but I want to mention as well, you can't kind of, use these links in a variety of ways. So you could use that listing link, and besides, texting it out to people, you could create a, say, physical sign, have on that sign include something like a text code. So maybe it says something like text code property search of the day to your smart number. And you could have as kind of the message they receive when they text your code be that link to those listings on your site. So there's ways that you could post out those links that you build in a multitude of ways. So feel free to kind of mix and match different lead generation tools. Oh, and yes, in the Q&A as well. Yes, you can absolutely use, brokerage listings if you don't have your own active listings as well. Those should also display on your site. All right. Now, let's talk a bit about squeeze pages. Now, the idea here, you've got squeeze pages, you've got landing pages. Both of these are going to be generating a link that you could post out online or again, include your emails or text messages. The idea with your squeeze page is we're squeezing those leads back to our website, and that's where they're going to see the listings and ultimately register. Again, our goal is always to have them register so we can capture that contact information. And again, the added benefit of the squeeze and landing pages is those leads that we capture, we can assign them a hashtag that makes them trackable, that puts them into a handy group that we can pull up for future messaging, and also help us stay organized in our CRM. Landing pages, again, they're landing on a kind of external page that you create, like a one-page website, and that's where they're registering before you push them to wherever you like. You could send them to your website, you could send them to your lender's website if you're promising them lender information, you could send them, you could use it for a variety of different purposes. We do have some great videos on the YouTube channel about building landing pages if you want more information, because I don't think we'll get to it today. But let's talk about squeeze pages. So I'm going to go ahead and select my website domain, and I'm going to click Start Building. Now, there are a few different varieties of squeeze pages. If we're doing a property search of the day, we're promoting multiple properties, a list of properties. So we're really just using the multi-property squeeze page option. Single property is great if you just want to promote your, just listed, just reduced, any open house property. If you just want to share that one property, that one's great. Seller squeeze is going to direct them to the home valuation page on your website. Market report's going to encourage them to sign up for a market report. So you got some options here. So property search of the day, again, probably don't need to work through all the search criteria. Again, if you've done a search on your website, if you've created a search alert for any of your contacts or leads, very much the same process. Again, the bare minimum of information we need is a location, a city, a county, a zip code. What is the area in which we're searching for listings? All right, we'll go ahead and grab our default of San Diego. Again, feel free to, draw on a map. And I always like to point out as well, the geographical areas rather than MLS areas, that's an option too. It's going to pull listings based on latitude and longitude. I've included a support article about that in my guide if you go back and reference it later. Now, again, you're a little bit more limited about what you can choose for criteria here. So there are some options, if we're looking specifically for open houses, pool properties, waterfront, you name it. We'll do water view, why not? But you'll notice I don't have that keyword search option. So that is, again, the benefit really of using things like a search from your website. So water view, and then we choose our page configuration on the right. So choose our search alert criteria first on the left, page configuration on the right next. So source, if you want to be able to track the source of where these leads were generated, maybe you're posting this to Facebook, maybe you're posting this to all social media, maybe you're posting this just to Twitter. So again, wherever you like, if you want to be able to track that, a source is helpful. So I, would do something like property search of the day. And, if I'm posting this to Facebook, maybe Facebook. Again, be specific or as broad as is helpful to you. I can give you suggestions all day long, but at the end of the day, depending on how you use your CRM and organize your contacts, you're going to have your own way of doing things. Now, hashtags, same idea as well. You can add multiple hashtags if you want to. I think for me, it makes sense if I'm going to regularly be posting out property searches of the day. That's a helpful hashtag for me. And again, I just kind of abbreviated that with the letter of each word. If you're kind of wondering how does she get in property search the day of that, that's what I'm doing here. But again, feel free to add whatever hashtags you like San Diego might be a good one to track since we're doing the San Diego area. If I want to pinpoint that these people were specifically looking at water view, I could do that as well. Keep in mind, you'll notice with those sources, you can have a space in your source if you want to. Hashtags, no spaces. If that drives you nuts, like with San Diego, there's no space there. I just used an underscore instead. Okay. Now, Facebook cover photo, it's only going to matter if I'm posting this squeeze page to Facebook. This is how I can kind of choose, which image, which listing it's going to show as kind of that default image when I post this out. So if you'll remember when I went and I created this posting, this was that main primary image, the first image that it used, first listing it used. If I want to be very intentional about what listing I use, I can choose from this drop down menu. So photo from a specific listing, high price listing, low price listing, recent listings, feel free to grab it. Now, again, we want them ideally to register. Something I neglected to mention on your websites here, when a lead goes to look at listings on your website, they're going to only have a couple clicks before the registration box pops up, before they're prompted to sign up. And they're going to ask for an email address, and at the @ symbol, it's got that layered response, asks for a cell phone number to be included as their password. We find that this generates the best results, the greatest likelihood, greatest number of leads. So that's how it works on your website. Again, it's generally about 2 or so clicks, or if they go to, save a property, if they go to request a showing, if they ask a question, that's all going to have them register. So same idea with that squeeze page. Ideally, they can look at 2 different listings or 2 clicks, and it's going to prompt them to register. You can adjust this if you'd like to. For other scenarios, if it was a single listing that we were promoting with a squeeze page, I always say, change that to 1. We don't want them to look at that one listing we sent them here for and then click off your page and never have signed up. So we want to, prompt them. For some of you out there, if you're using these in addition to, a Facebook ad or something else where you think those leads might already be registering, you could choose never if that's your option here. That's what's going to work best for you. All right, so you choose your criteria. Let's generate a link. You'll get 2 of them, your direct link and your short link. Again, that direct link is a big, long link, kind of like the one that we grabbed from the website. That is still going to be the best link to use if you're posting to something like Facebook and posting to most of your social media pages. Again, we don't have to keep that whole link in there. We can erase it once that image loads up and type in our call to action. The short link, again, is really only reserved for things like text messages, or things like Twitter. You'll find that if you try to use the short link in your Facebook posting, sometimes it doesn't always work quite as well. It doesn't work quite as anticipated. So I'm always going to recommend using the direct link for Facebook. And that's really what you could do here. Again, feel free to categorize these even more, because these squeeze pages, a wonderful thing about them, or even the links that you add from your website, if you're searching for a specific group of listings, is these links, they will last you a long, long time. As long as your website is up, they will last you. So it will be, I've got San Diego, we've got Waterview properties here. If I post this today, and again, another best practice as well, let's double check we got some results here. I'm going to copy that link and just search that, or open that up in a new search tab, just to make sure we've got some results before we post that out on social media. Another best practice for you guys. But this link here, these are the listings that it's showing me today. But if I wanted to use this link again in a couple weeks from now or a month from now, the link will still work. It's going to show me, the updated listings though. It's always going to show me what's current. So you can kind of recycle these property searches of the day, every month or so, because it's going to show new listings. So you don't have to, create a different property search of the day or different property search of the week every single day of the year. You can really recycle them. So as long as you have, a couple variations to work with, you can kind of alternate what you're posting to keep your content fresh. So hope that makes sense to everybody. Again, it's always going to post whatever listings are current. I will say, again, if you're creating squeeze pages that just show a single property, those are the one links that, won't stay current because, of course, if that listing gets sold and it's no longer on your website, then that link won't function anymore. So single properties are kind of the exception to that, but your multi-properties, always use those links again and again. And I will mention, again, some best practices as well. While KV Core does save a history of all your links, so if you ever come back to your history page at the top, it'll show you, there's this one that I just created. It's got today's date. So the city was San Diego, type was multi-property, and then it shows me the hashtag as well. I can view that, or I can copy the link to post it out. If you want additional reminders, maybe it was a very detailed search. So you'll notice the one below it says Polygon buyer search. Polygon search just means I used the map search option. So where you go on a map and you draw on that map there. So letting it load on up real quick. This is what is called a polygon search. So that you can see, doesn't give me a very clear picture of what I was searching for. Thankfully, my hashtags are single family and oceanside, so I've got an idea of what I was searching for here, but it doesn't give you all the details. So sometimes for some of you out there that are going to be frequent posters to your social media, it might even be worthwhile to create a little guide of your own, create a Google Doc or, a Google spreadsheet. And as you're creating these links that you want to repost out in the future, maybe add yourself some notes here. So this link is for this search. This is the caption that I used or the call to action I used. And here's the link. And that way you can just quickly copy and paste them to your social media. And that can be really helpful as well to make this a quick process rather than being something that you drag your feet doing because you just don't feel like you have time in your day. If you make a couple of these searches ahead of time, you can use those links again and again. Again, we want to help you make social media posting and things like that as quick and efficient as possible. It shouldn't be something that's really difficult to achieve. All right, I saw another question in the Q&A. Let's double check there. Can we make any of those options permanent on our search page, or at least for setting up searches? So let's quickly, there's a couple minutes left. Let's go into the Web and IDX tab and let's dive into website settings quickly. And I'm going to head down here to on the left-hand side of, again, just back it up here because I did that a little quick, Web and IDX. I went to website settings. And I'm going to click on my listings option. So there are some options here about what listings, what types can be searchable by customers. So you can adjust these as you see fit. So if lot land is not something that I work with, deselect that. Timeshare is not something I work with, deselect that. So you can, not a bad idea to go to your Web and IDX tab, go to your website settings, check what listing types are served and displayed. There are, you can also change the default of how listings are sorted. So we've got we've got this sorted by high price to low price. So feel free to adjust those as well. That'll be kind of the default sorting option. So when they first go to your listings, you can adjust, what listings pop up first. Someone I think earlier mentioned that they're not seeing the map view. If you want to adjust the listing display to, the other options, grid or list. So this is again what I mean, grid or the list display. You can also adjust that in your website settings. So feel free to do that. Again, you just scroll down a little bit. I think the map is very user friendly. If someone's looking to search in a particular area, I'm sure, I'm sure if we have any repeat users of the KV Core platform here, I'm sure some of you out there might have an argument in favor of grid or list. You can add in extra search options as well. Now, just be aware with those extra search options, again, think about, what is available with your MLS. If it's not something that's searchable through your MLS, it might there's going to be some issues here adding it as a search option. So I'll try to locate our support article that kind of goes into the details of this, and I'll add it into my support guide here. I know we're kind of wrapping up time here. I know some of you probably need to jump to your next webinar or next meeting. So let me share this out in the chat again for you guys really quickly. Here we go. Guide going down in the chat if you missed it earlier. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Again, feel free to check out that property search of the day article for ideas. That was the first article I have linked at the top of my guide. Make a posting plan and time block on your calendar, even if it's just 15 minutes every week to post these out or to create your property link of the day. I think it's definitely a worthwhile endeavor. Thanks so much for joining me here today, folks, for all your fabulous questions. And I hope to see you guys at a future Success Meetup soon. Take care. Thanks for joining.